Hi, this is Krista at The Secret Yarnery. These are the top 5 crochet sweater patterns for women that you need to try right now. Over the years, I have crocheted a ton of crochet sweaters, and I know a lot of you are scared to make a wearable. It's very intimidating. You could get it wrong. Everybody could look at you and know that you made something homemade. It's kind of hokey. It's not so great. It doesn't fit right. All of these 5 crochet patterns have free video tutorials, and they do not require any gauge. So you don't have to match your stitches to the pattern. You literally just make it to measure on your body, which I show you how to do in the tutorials. You're gonna freak out. There are 5 to pick from, all of them made to measure just for you. I'll give you a bunch of examples. I'll show you a bunch of mine. They all have written patterns. No, they don't. My first one does not have a written pattern. That one is just a tutorial, right and left-handed. I will start with that one. All right, so this is the 4 squared granny. It's just 4 granny squares. So if you can crochet 4 granny squares, you can make this sweater. The nice thing about it, I teach you in the tutorial, is to do this join as you go for the last round. Other than sewing in your tails, it's absolutely no sew. And the great thing about join as you go, which you can do by the way, don't be intimidated by that, easy as dotting your I's, is it has the exact same stretch as the rest of your sweater. So it's not like you'll have 2 panels and it'll be really tight on the side or tight on the shoulders. Well, actually it doesn't have any seams on the shoulders. It's in the underarm, which is great, but it's also just as stretchy as the rest of the sweater, which is why join as you go for garments is just a beautiful thing. It's a little hot to put on this little tunic, but I'm gonna pop it on to this mannequin. This is the Orchid Storm scarf. I just finished it and I love it. If you have a ball of eyelash yarn, sidetrack, I know. If you have a ball of eyelash yarn, you bought it, it's gorgeous, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I can't crochet with it, I don't know what to do with it. Trim a scarf. I show you how to do it. You don't have to see your stitches. You can do it blind, literally. So let me pop that one off, pop this one on, and if you can make a granny square, you can also make the sweater. That is so cute, right? So you make the granny squares as big as like the front half of your body, like around your stomach or around whatever your biggest part is. For me, definitely the stomach. So I made it just to measure around my tumbo, as we call it, and then I made 4 more the exact same size. Super easy to do. So that is the 4 square granny. No written pattern, but definitely right and left-handed tutorials. If you like yarn and crochet as much as I do, go ahead and subscribe under this video so you don't miss all the fun that happens here at Secret Yarnery. Now I'm gonna do it chronological because there is a lot of sweaters. So that was my first. Was it my first? I think it was my second. Do you want to see my first? Okay, this is not a sweater you should try, but I will show you. It's a complete fail, so you're not going to make this one. I'm not telling you to make it, but I'll show you so that you know we all make mistakes, okay? Luckily, it was on my shelf because I wouldn't go looking for it. But this is the very first sweater I made. I think I even made it before that one, but it is not in my top 5, and I'm going to show you why. Do you know why it's a do not do? I'm not this size. I wanted it to be like comfortable and large, but my girlfriend tried it on, who is quite big bone. She's like 6 foot something. She's a big woman. She tried it on. It looked great on her. And then I'm like, oh, like I feel kind of like a wet cat. You know, like just kind of like, ugh, just something hanging on me. Yeah, you're not as big as you think. So as you're crocheting, make it smaller than you think. Don't make it, like crochet is gonna stretch no matter what. That's not my arm. Even half of that would still be big enough to be a comfortable oversized sweater. Check, literally measure. Well, I show you in the tutorials, but like measure against like your t-shirt, like a favorite t-shirt, a favorite sweater, something that fits the way you like it to fit. Measure against that, not in your mind what size you are. Because for me, I think I'm a house. I guess I'm not. So don't waste all the yarn making a super huge sweater that is too big for you. That was technically my first sweater. This was technically my second sweater, but it got me on a bender all about making sweaters. It gave me confidence, I guess, that I could make something to fit my body if I was realistic about it. So my next sweater, not in stacking order. Do you remember this one? Do you know the name of it? Look how fun it is. Look at the eyelash trim. Super, super fun. So the yarn I used discontinued. Not a bad thing. It's not a fantastic yarn. It feels like it looks, like a carnival, like a party. It's a party cardi. It feels very synthetic. But look, sleeve fits, right? I was a little more realistic about it. And it has a cute little hood. You could make the hood bigger if you wanted to make it bigger. Or you could not put the hood at all. That's like super optional. But that'd be really cute for a hoodie, actually. Maybe that's what I should do for my hoodie. I want to make a hoodie. Anyway, let me show you this one. This is the Party Cardi. So fun, so easy. 2 hexagons, actually made to measure like a t-shirt or a sweater that you like. Fits, super cute trim all the way around, so just 2 rows with an added little eyelash around the edge, just to give a little bit of pop. You don't have to put the eyelash. All the notifications going on. Oh, interesting. It is a WhatsApp group for secondhand household items in Nairobi. Very exciting. Nothing good these days. Anyway, there was some Pyrex a long time back. So, eyelash for the last couple rows. This is actually just 1 row. Interesting. Oh, along the side, and then the bottom I did too. That makes sense. Okay. So, this is the Party Cardi, made to measure a lot better after my fail. I really like it. I love it. It would also look good in like normal colors, like a beige, a gray, a black. It would look really nice. But this is the Party Cardi. Super easy to do. Super fun, super fast. This is like a weekend project. It is quick, and you can make it as long as you want. You can make the sleeves as long as you want or as short as you want. You could make it cropped. You could make it a duster, like a duster, what do you call it, duster coat? Duster. You can make it long. And I worked on this all day. I'm so excited. The patterns for these 4 sweaters that I'm showing you now have included in them a project note page. Keep track of everything in one page, included in the pattern. Another thing about written patterns, this is a side note, but what I like about my written patterns is I also include the back page to have what you need, like the yarn, the hook size, so then when I'm flipping through, I don't have to like open up the pattern and look at like what hook size was it, or what yarn did I use, or what was the multiple. Everything you need to know is in the cute little chart at the back of the pattern. So, I love it. Plus now it also includes the pattern notes page, so you can keep track of everything right in the pattern. How handy. So, anyway, that is the Party Cardi. I also wanted to make the Party Cardi kid size. This is much nicer yarn. This is Karen Simply Soft, I want to say. Is it New York Times? I don't know. Don't quote me on the colorway at all. Oh, this is Red Heart something. The gray is Red Heart something, and then this was Karen Simply Soft. Or was it all Red Heart? I want to say Karen. Okay, I don't know. It was a long time ago. I made this kid size for my daughter. She was 4 years old, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so perfect for her. Can you see how cute that is? It's adorable. I used up all the pink, so that's why I used the other color for the trim. It's the same yarn, but just in a different colorway. Turns out for this one, I didn't measure around her. I measured her height, and I thought it was really cute, but it didn't reach around the front, bless her heart. So she never wore it. It's super cute. It is a brand new crochet sweater for a 4-year-old. But that is also Hexi Cardi made to measure, or no, Party Cardi made to measure. But that one I didn't put a hood, I just put a collar. So instead of the hood, you just work around in a collar. Nothing fancy about it. but the same pattern. So you really can make it any size that you like. I'm getting a really big pile over there I'm gonna have to clean up later. Not the best thing I've done. This is the official Tammy sweater, and it is called the Tammy sweater because one of our, well, I do a live chat on Fridays, and one of our community members, her name was Tammy Lethbridge, her next project was going to be a pink sweater, and we were all excited about it, and then she passed away from breast cancer. So as a community, we were all devastated, and I just wanted to make the pink sweater that she wanted to make. So this is the Tammy sweater, but first I tried it out with different yarn. So you can make these patterns with any yarn you have. It does not have to be the exact yarn that I use. Doesn't have to be the same color. Literally your yarn, your hook size. I would go up a hook size if you want it to be drapey, or keep the hook size recommended on the yarn label if you want it to keep its shape and be a little bit more structured. So this is with Batik Bulky. I love it. Oh, I remember. So it has built-in ribbing. This is why I made, yeah, can you see the pilling on that? Not so good. Yes, it's an old sweater. Did I wear it that much? Yeah, I wore it for about a week before it started pilling, especially on the cuffs, which made me, well, not like it that much because it was pilling. Now, the great thing about this, it feels so good. I'm back. It feels so good. See this nice ribbing? It goes all the way down and finishes nice and flat. This took a long time to figure out, like the spacing of it to get it. I think they're just front post, back post, but it just feels so good. So you can like close it up or have it open. You could also flip it down if you wanted it like folded. It's very multi-practic. If it's cold, you can have it up. It's like a built-in neck warmer. Put a little brooch there to pin it, or a little chopstick going through. It's an amazing sweater. The other thing I love about it, it's got the dolman sleeves or the batwing sleeves, so that, because what I don't like about sweaters is you have to like hold your sleeve of your shirt and then shove your arm in, and your shirt gets all caught up, and then you're trying to like wrestle your shirt down underneath your sweater, and that's stretching out your sleeves, and it's just a pain in the butt. So don't have to do that in this sweater. The only part that's fitted is around the cuff. Perfect. If you don't want the dolman sleeves, you of course could just join it higher up along the side and just do a straight sleeve. It's up to you. Then my next one was the official Tammy sweater. I made it in pink, and I used ambient yarn for this. It's out of stock. It's pretty much like Red Heart Unforgettable or Lion Brand Landscape. It's in there. It's in and around there. So really nice colorways. Oh, the other thing about it, if you're using a striped yarn, the stripes are vertical. Now I'm old school, I get it. I don't want stripes going across my body. Thank you very much. The world is fine with vertical stripes on female figures, as far as I'm concerned. So yes, the stripes go up and down for that naturally slimming look. And it is the exact same. I think I did a thinner collar. That other collar looks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or maybe it's just the yarn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. It's the yarn. This is a size 4. That was a size 5 weight. This is a size 4 weight. Isn't that fun? I just love it. So this is like a proper sweater made to measure again. So let me show you how you do that. So you make your starting chainless foundation, your starting chain, from where you want it to start on the front of your body, up and over your shoulder to where you want it to end on the other side. And that is the only calculation you have to do. The next sweater you have to try, super easy to do. Again, if you can make a granny square, you can make this sweater as well. You don't have to change colors. I change colors every row for mine, but you could do it in one color, you could do it in 2 colors, 3 colors, whatever you wanted to do. It is just one great big granny square that you put sleeves on. So you join it on 2 sides and pop in a cuff. The great thing about it, well, this was my first one. I'm not crazy about the colors, but then when I see it, like when I look at, like from your perspective, like when I film it and look at it, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. When I see it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a bumblebee. It's just yellow and black. But I know it doesn't look like that from the other side of the camera, but it's pretty cool. Anyway, this was my first one. I used every single color of yarn I had. This is all Kenyan acrylic, by the way. I used every color that I had or could find in Kenyan acrylic. It's before I found ice yarns. That wasn't a color, like any neutralish kind of shade I used for this sweater. Again, that's join as you go for the cuff or for the sleeve. And then I just went around a few times. It's only double crochet, so super easy to do. It covers your bum, which is a great thing, especially if you live in a cold climate or, you know, you go to sit down on, what do they call them, like a bench where at a bus stop or something. You have something to sit on. Like you're not putting your pants or your dress straight onto a foreign surface. You literally have a blanket with you. And there's not an up or down, like the collar can go either way. So that was my first one, and I love it. Now my second one, this is still Kenyan acrylic, but I tried to not put in every color I could find in a neutral. So this is like blues and tans and creams and grays. So this sweater got a lot of use, and yes, it is a granny square. You do not change the corners. Oh, is that what I did for this one? Let me fold it and see. I think that's what I might not like about it. Because I think, yeah, that's what I did. So for this sweater, I overthought it and just did some small corners and some larger corners so that it would stay as a true square, not a big wobbly extra square. Extra stitches in the corners. You need the extra stitches in the corners so that you get that nice big hug, loose feel of the crochet sweater. Should have just kept doing normal corners and not overthink it. Should not have overthunk it. Is thunk a word? Don't know. Which got me to my favorite. Now this sweater, made with ice yarns. It is a new tutorial. I redid it all, and I fixed all the problems that there ever was in the world with this type of sweater. It also starts with a cute flower in the center of your back, because why not? Why are we starting just regular? Why don't we just put something pretty on our backs? So it has a cute little flower center that turns into a square, and then it turns into the square for the sweater. And this is like my house coat. I used to wear a house coat. Now I wear this. It's perfect. So I live in it, like a lot, like every day. And you can kind of tell I live in it a lot every day. Okay, so let me show you. So it covers the back side down to like mid-thigh. Super relaxed, super comfortable. Super easy. It doesn't have a upside, like it doesn't have a right way up and a wrong way up. Whichever way you end up putting it on, fine. I love it. So the good thing about it, or the new thing about it, of course, is the center. That cute granny square at the back. This is my cozy CARDI, by the way. And also the cuffs. Now don't mind the use. I do wear it every day, but it also has a little bit of a cute cuff on it. So this is my best friend, the cozy CARDI. Now, if all those, that's like a legacy of sweaters right there. If all those are a little too big, a little too much sweater, I also have one for you. This is my sweater in a day. I literally made it in a day. How? With a big hook. I want to say a 12 milli and chunky yarn. I think it was a size 6 yarn and a 12 milli hook. I just made 2 hexagons and went around it. I did a couple little tips and tricks to get it a little fancier. I didn't want it to be just boring and plain. So we did some cute little stitches in there to give it a little bit of detail. So all you need, a big hook, some big yarn. You can also do it with worsted weight. I did it with worsted weight yarn as well. It's sweater in 2 days. So fret not if you do not have a 12 milli and big chunky yarn to use. Isn't that great? I made boot cuffs to match for my rubber boots. So cute. So this is sweater in a day. And those are the 5 made to measure, easy to make crochet clothing for you that you can make with what you have on hand. They would all work great for scraps. If you made a scrap sweater, it would be fantastic. Just use the same weight yarn and the same fiber content. So don't throw in a cotton with an acrylic. Use the same fibers and the same weight of yarn, the same size of yarn. If you have skinny yarn, you can double it up. Don't worry about that, just get it about the same thickness so it looks the same using the same hook size and play around with it. So let me know which crochet sweater design is your favorite, and if you've made any, let me know what yarn you used and how it worked out for you in the comments. Also check the comments because there is a plethora of information down there, and I'm waiting for you in that video right there. Stay hooked. Oh, guess what I didn't say? Subscribe. Gotta throw that in there somewhere. If you're into crochet, if you're into yarn and crochet, consider subscribing. No, what am I supposed to say about subscribing?
Right? But at a certain point, you get tired. You know?
Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I'm waiting for you in that video right there, and stay hooked. Was that a lot of talking or what? I feel like a marathon talker. Oh my gosh, 28 minutes. I haven't even taken a breath. I'm sweating. Can you tell that I'm sweating? I hope not. It's hot in here and I just wore sweaters. What is the temperature? But it is technically like 76. I would not be wearing sweaters normally at this temperature. Okay, back to the show. I'm ready. Oh, I'm gonna put this in the middle. Right. If you're enjoying this video, go ahead and subscribe. Is that lame? It's a bit lame. That wasn't bad, right?